Because of Miss Earth, I was able to help my mom and my siblings. I got to travel and see the world and inspire other people. And at the age of 20, not a lot of people have that opportunity at that age to really get to explore and not only touch other people's hearts, but at the same time learn in the process. And that has made me the person who I am today. I'm Jamie Herrell. I'm a host and a beauty queen. I'm Miss Earth 2014. Honestly, I always lived in a house that we were told that we don't need a crown to know our value. So I never thought in a million years that I would be a beauty queen. In fact, an international beauty queen, it was never in my radar. I had a lot of dreams, so I wanted to be an astrophysicist, I wanted to be a news anchor. I basically wanted to live a really colorful life, so I ended up wanting to be an entertainer, an actress, because at least I can play certain roles that could make me feel that I have different jobs. I just had so many dreams when I was younger. I just thought that it's really a beautiful thing to tell stories. I always wanted to get to know people on an emotional level, and when you act, you have to put yourself in the character's shoes or in other people's shoes. There's this thing called method acting. So that's what drove me to be a part of the entertainment field. My childhood was kind of like a boomerang. So I was going around, like from Philippines to LA to Florida. So I've been to around 10 schools. And I've never really gotten to grow up with people and have childhood friends that really stuck by me for so long. So I am known to be an introvert. I only come to life, or I'm an extrovert, or I talk a lot only when I'm in front of the camera. But my childhood has been very interesting, honestly. My dad had Alzheimer's when I was in high school, so that made things tougher, and because of that, I did not have the typical colorful, beautiful childhood like most people. But no regrets, because it taught me to be the person I am today. Every time when I moved from one country to another, which is Philippines and the United States, I always felt that I didn't really know myself when I was younger. Because you know, when bata ka pa, you're still trying to figure out who you are as a person or what you're meant to do in this world. So every time when I was in the States, I would feel as if I'm not American and I'm Filipino. And when I came back here to the Philippines, I also felt like I'm too American and I'm not that Filipino. And people would point that out. So there was a feeling of lack of acceptance from time to time, but good thing I had my parents with me, and they helped me adjust to changes every time when we moved, especially here in the Philippines. People always told my sister and I to join beauty pageants, because my sister is actually really stunning too. We weren't really into pageantry. But when our dad was sick with Alzheimer's, we thought it would be a great opportunity to not only make money, you know, quick money, but at the same time, for me to be able to be more exposed to people and not be afraid of my own skin, and then just be out there, right, and explore and just not hide under a rock or live under a rock. So that's how I started beauty pageantry, and it started in end of 2012, November. I joined Miss Lapu-Lapu, and I got first runner-up because I messed up the Q&A, and I don't know why I'm so proud to say that, but I messed up. And after that, I actually did not want to join another beauty pageant because I just felt it wasn't really my thing. I grew up as a lady with zero style, did not like wearing heels, barely did my hair. I would go to school with my hair wet. Being a beauty queen is completely different. You always have to be prepared. You know, you're always wearing heels, you're always full on makeup and hair, and so I told myself, you know, I'm done with pageantry. It was a good run. I learned a lot. I gained respect, basically. And then in 2013, I joined Sinulog Festival Queen. This is a dance competition in Cebu province. And this was something that I was always into because when I was younger, I was into dancing, acting. I loved singing, but it did not love me back. And I won that. And it was very humbling because, I don't know, I just always had this feeling like I would never win in a competition. But I did. So it was a halad. Halad meaning offering to Senior Santo Niño, and he's my patron saint. That's why I did it. But it was when they asked me to join Reyna ng Aliwan 2013 that I got back into pageantry because I had no idea that it was a pageant. I thought it was just another dance competition. And a few days before I came to Manila to compete, that's when it hit me, or when I realized, because I searched online, that it was a beauty pageant and I couldn't back out because people were expecting me to join already. So I joined and I really practiced like so much just to do well in it, and then I won that, and it just kept going from there, joining pageantry right and left. The interesting thing about it is that in Cebu, women there are also very competitive because we also love beauty pageants in Cebu. So there's Miss Cebu City, there's Miss Mandaue, and a lot of the trainers there have also trained national contestants or international beauty queens like myself. So I would say that maybe a lot of girls who are competing are new or neophytes in pageantry, but they are already being taught or being conditioned to compete in a national pageant. So the only difference between a national pageant and a local pageant in Cebu is how seasoned the girls are when you compete. But other than that, it's very much competitive also in Cebu. There was a sense of fear because if I joined Miss Earth, there was a likelihood I was going to lose my scholarship. And education was and is still everything to me because when I lost my dad, I couldn't go to school anymore because my mom couldn't afford it. So I had to work right and left, and I had to apply for scholarships. I finally got one in International Academy of Film and Television for acting. And not only that it was an opportunity to go to school, but it was also an opportunity to learn a talent or a skill that I truly enjoy and I am passionate about. And so I was really weighing like what I really wanted to do or what was my next step to take because it's a big deal. But when my manager called me and asked me to really join Miss Earth because she felt that it was the right time for me to join, I just got goosebumps and I got that gut feeling that it was definitely a year to join pageantry. But I also told myself that it would be my last pageant. So it's either win or lose, and then that's it, move forward with my life. I love the idea of Miss Earth because it's very advocacy driven ever since it started. I just love that about Miss Earth, and I felt like there was a connection between my advocacy and with Miss Earth because ever since I was younger, when I was in elementary and middle school and high school, my dad always taught me to be a part of the community, and I felt that with Miss Earth. There was a lot of catwalk training, a lot of hair and makeup training, late nights, early mornings, and I am one person wherein if there is something that I want, I try to do everything to get it. So I would wake up super early in the morning, have breakfast, work out, and then after that I would get changed, go to my derma, and after that have lunch, and then work out, and then practice my Q&A training, my catwalk training. And then after that, I would work out and then sleep. And it's like sleep, repeat, unless if there are events. I didn't expect to win. A lot of the women were so beautiful, smart. Honestly, there are a lot of things that are somewhat of a blur, but at the same time brings back a lot of good feelings.
Mabuhay everyone! My name is Jamie Herrell and I'm your Miss Philippines Earth 2014.
It was such a huge honor. I never thought that I would represent the Philippines because in Philippines, people are so into pageants here. I felt like there was also a weight on my shoulders, just a bit, because people expect so much from a Miss Philippines. But instead of feeling stressed and nervous, I tried to alter that energy into something more positive. And it just felt really good to wear that sash and just call out our country with so much pride. And one of the things that I always kept in mind was to show the resilience of the Filipino, because I'm the host country, and to make people feel at home, just how Philippines makes me feel at home. So I have a tendency to be very strong with the way that I answer my questions. You know, sometimes you just try to command the room when you're doing the Q&A. So people told me to tone it down and to be real when I answer my question and answers. So I actually noticed a lot on social media that a lot of people thought that my answer was very cliche because I spoke about the children and education. But I answered with my heart because as a person who was somewhat deprived from education when her dad passed away, it's something that I felt that everyone should have the right to access because education is important. So when I was asked the question of what I would do as Miss Earth, as cliche as it sounds, I said education. Because the children are not only the people of tomorrow, but also the people of today, and they can make an impact also. That was my Q&A. Not everyone's happy about it, but I'm happy about it. And I won because of it, so it's all good. I did not expect to win. I worked hard in the hopes I would win, but I was always taught to be prepared for the worst and always humble myself. So I was actually just gunning to be top 8. Because the year before, we were just top 8 in Miss Earth, and I just felt like I wanted to do better or, you know, keep the same level of award that we got the year before, which is top 8. So when I was already in top 8, I was really happy. I was mirthful, I was good. I thought to myself, I did my best. So when they called out my name, I didn't believe it, and I think I was about to pass out, I'm not sure. But one of my co-candidates picked me up, and then I guess I was really dehydrated because, you know, with all of the stage lights and barely drinking any water. So I was crying, but there were barely any tears coming out. But I was truly grateful and in awe. And sometimes to this day, when I look back, I still don't believe that I won Miss Earth. I was actually supposed to wear a Carrie Santiago gown, but because there was some sort of typhoon happening in Cebu, it was late. So luckily, one of my managers contacted Leo Almodal and asked if he could bring me a gown. And Leo, sweet as he is, ends up bringing a gown for me. And he brings 3 gowns, and as I'm trying all of these 3 gowns, only one fitted me perfectly, and that was that red gown. And this was 20 minutes before the pageant started. Before the pageant started, I was just freaking out because imagine you're gonna join this international pageant and this is probably the last time you're gonna compete and you don't have the main thing that you need, which is a gown. That's one of the fondest memories that I have when I competed that night. My dad passed a year before I competed, and I have both traits or characteristics that I got from my mom and my dad. So my dad was like really hardworking, taught us that life is not easy, and that if we want to get through this world like with flying colors, then we have to work hard. But my mom was different. She was very giving. She's the reason why that we had a beautiful childhood, and she's just so full of heart. So me being somewhat like my dad, just working hard and just trying to provide for the family at that time, it was great to have someone there that is a yin to my yang. That just made me feel that I'm not alone. Because when my dad passed away, he was like my best friend. And so it was really hard on me. And I really saw that strength in my mom, and I felt that strength in my mom because, I mean, it's not easy to lose the love of your life. And she was so focused on making us feel okay throughout the whole process of losing our dad. I mean, how can you not dedicate all of your hard work to somebody who has been with you from the very start and has just given you all of the love in the world that made you feel that even if your dad is not there, you still feel complete. That's my mom, and she's my best friend. Although we fight here and there, she's my best friend. To love and understand people, and to have that strength that no matter how much people judge you, even until now, to just carry on and know yourself and know your values. And I think that made me headstrong, and that's why my mom has influenced me so much. So I would say that is to know yourself, know your values. It did wonders for me. Because of Miss Earth, I was given the opportunity to do what I love, which is at times acting, dancing, hosting. It just has changed so much. So the Think Twice campaign is something that I conceptualized with my Miss Philippines Earth girls. I'm not going to take full credit on the name because honestly, I did not come up with it. It actually was conceptualized by my Miss Philippines Earth Air, Diane Carrer. But we all had the same goal, which is education. And the Think Twice campaign is to teach people to think about alternatives in their everyday lives to sustain the environment. And so what we did was we went to all of these different schools and we told them all of the little things that they can do to have a big impact to society and our planet. And it was great. We went to more than 100 schools, and I was able to expand that also to schools overseas, such as Hyoinsu, Finland, Mexico. Got to meet a few people in Sri Lanka, and the list goes on. And it was just really great to be able to start a project that I never thought would be as big as it was and still is. It's close to my heart because a win for the planet is a win for the future. And I don't want it in the future when I have my own kids that they would inherit a planet that's destroyed. I want them to enjoy the same greenery that I got to experience when I was a kid. When I was younger, we would go camping and be in the forest or go hiking and be by the beach. I was always surrounded by nature during my childhood. And I want the same for kids to experience, like the same environment that I've experienced. So that's why it really hits hard at home. And it definitely is a passion of mine because there's a lack of awareness. And if there is a lack of awareness, there's a lack of action. And I feel that people need to be aware of a problem to solve the problem, to give solutions. That's why I'm very passionate about it, and that's why I try to use my voice to make a greener impact. So I was supposed to finish my studies in 2020, but because of the pandemic, it kept on getting pushed back. So I graduated 2021, Marketing and Communications at University of San Jose Recoletos. The pandemic actually changed my life a lot, massively, because I'm a working body. I love to work. If I don't work, I feel really down. So it halted my life, just like most people. Actually, everyone experienced it, right? I was running a business, I was hosting on TV, I was running around for events, and then suddenly it was just on a standstill. But I tried to look at the silver lining of things, and because of the pandemic, I realized that sometimes it's important to take a pause and recollect yourself and discover yourself more, self-exploration. So I was able to do that during the pandemic, and I got into yoga, I got into wellness, and then I realized that because I instilled in my mind that I always had to work, kasi diba, my childhood, I went through a lot because we had financial issues. I suddenly forgot to focus on myself, to have a habit of self-care, and the pandemic taught me that. So yeah, now I'm a registered yoga teacher trainer. I'm very much into wellness, and now I live a more balanced life. I'm a very simple person. Ever since I took up yoga, medyo mastered the art of contentment. So I'm actually pretty contented where I am right now, but I do have goals to still take care of my family and my mom. I feel like this will never go away. It's never gonna stop. I feel like I live to take care of my mom and to love my mom and to impact people's lives, to touch people's heart. I just love love. I live for it. And if I get to shower people with that love, then yeah, that's all I could ever hope for in life. To never stop. And that life sometimes gets hard, but all you have to do is just take a moment to breathe and just appreciate your surroundings and just manifest all your hopes and dreams. And one way or another, you'll be happy at the end because God is paving the road for you that you are meant to take. And you just have to trust in Him.